Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free, right, Ben?
Just learn this.
I just learned this. Why you guys never tell me anything? Hide stuff from me like my wife.
Not like the subscriptions you were selling for magazines back in high school. A little different.
Dude, I got sucked into that in an airport one time. Hey, you want to buy it? I didn't know how to say no. Ended up getting a couple of magazines. Got like Omni for years. Didn't pay anything.
Great magazine. Great magazine.
Subscribe.
Love looking at the pictures.
I know. It was amazing.
Yeah, so you can subscribe to our YouTube. It costs you absolutely nothing, and you can get every new YouTube post that the Rob Dibble Show throws out there in your feed immediately just for subscribing. Name that sound, Dibs. We have got some leftover sound from the football weekend. I forget how this order goes, so I'm going to learn right along with you. Now, I know the sound. Dibs does not know the sound. Dibs is trying to guess the sound. Some of these are some usual sound suspects after a football weekend. We'll see what Kurt has in store in the box of sound. Kurt, what's the first sound?
That we're built for this, man, and it doesn't matter. And just because we play indoors, it doesn't matter, man. We can play anywhere. We can play in the snow, we can play in the rain, we can play in the mud. That's just us, and we're built to win, man.
Dan Campbell.
I love this guy. Making his usual stuff.
I'll run through a wall for that guy.
It was kind of a
72 degrees when we play, but we'll play anywhere.
Like a reserved winning Dan Campbell.
It was raining. I thought Green Bay was good in the inclement weather. They sucked.
My favorite Dan Campbell, though, is when he loses a close one. That's the best. That's the emotional, heart on the shirt sleeve Dan Campbell that I love. The winning Dan Campbell, it's great. I'm happy for him. Great coach, great team.
But we want angry Dan Campbell.
When it comes to good sound, sad, angry Dan Campbell.
That was too happy. That was too happy. Yeah. Really happy sound.
But they played great, man. They are great. So they got
without Hutchinson, man. It's like heartbreaking. Every time I'm watching these other guys whipping around, making great tackles, I'm thinking, you know what? If Aiden Hutchinson was there, you'd be even better.
He was the best player on the team. He really was the best player on the team. So they do add an outside linebacker today, which is basically a defensive end in their world. Zadarius Smith coming over for the Cleveland Browns. Just give up a pick for him. So we'll see how the Lions fare with Zadarius Smith now on the edge. Just makes them even more dangerous. They got weapons for days. The one thing I love about their offense is Gibbs-Montgomery, the thunder and lightning combo. Like Montgomery between the tackles, one of the toughest runners.
Right.
You know, I love me some Derrick Henry. I love me some Saquon, but I would say even Montgomery is more of a bruising back than those two guys. And Jahmyr Gibbs, dude, he is a real deal running back that can catch, he can block, and he can obviously do well in open space. But
Jahmyr Gibbs averaging 6.4 yards per carry, and he busted one out for 70 yards. So
that'll help your average.
But listen, he's gotten 103 carries. Montgomery's gotten 110. That will keep both of them fresh.
Yeah.
By not hammering one of them.
Good point. What's the next sound in the box of football sound?
Well, I think it's a little bit of part of the story. I mean, we just had some self-inflicted wounds. I mean, we had, the fake punt was a matchup. John, we felt strong about going into the game, so didn't convert that. But yeah, that's when got to a two-score, above a two-score lead. So we had plenty of opportunities after that.
Jerry loves me, Mike McCarthy.
He was simply asked, "What's up with the fake punt?" That was the question.
Well, let me elaborate. It wasn't just the fake punt. We were pretty bad at everything. I'm not going to just blame the punter.
That would be a good explanation.
Right.
But he's saying that they had a matchup that they liked with your punter throwing the ball. The punter was the quarterback in that scenario. And there was a matchup on the special teams unit that
Stop playing Madden football before the game.
I wouldn't even do that in Madden. Like, that's not even a play that you use in Madden. Madden people know. You don't run the fake punt pass in Madden. That's just there for the jabroni who thinks he can pull it off, like a Mike McCarthy such that's running the sticks, and they don't know what they're doing. They're going to throw that interception, and most likely that person playing Madden never runs that play again.
Yeah, even if they're taking edibles.
Even if they're on edibles, they don't run that play on Madden, let alone do it as a sober person called the head coach in the NFL.
Brian Schottenheimer is the OC. Marty's kid, right?
Yeah, the apple doesn't fall that far from Maybe it does.
I don't know. I thought Marty was an excellent coach. He got
I love
screwed.
Marty
They were like
Schottenheimer.
14-2 one year, and he got fired.
Marty
San Diego
Schottenheimer.
job, right?
Yeah.
That
14-2.
brutal. That was brutality, man. It's awful.
We brought in Norv Turner for 6 years to not make the playoffs. That was a great.
And kept him.
Kept him. Yeah, it must have been.
This is brutal, man. They just honestly, that's the kind of thing in a movie where the owner calls down from the box and goes, I was just thinking, why don't we have the punter throw it?
Well,
Okay, boss wants the punter to throw this one.
now they got Jonathan Mingo to run that play. Carolina Panther wide receiver. Hopefully he'll get the call when next time they try to throw a pass from the punter. God, it's so dumb. Who's next, Kurt, in the box of sound from football?
So proud of him, so happy for him. I got emotional in my little post-game speech out there. Just the trials and tribulations that he's been throughout this year. Obviously missing one early in the day, hitting the pole on another. He could have easily put it in the tank, and 61-yard field goal to win a game against a division rival. That's what stories are made of, and I love him. I respect him so much. Everybody in that locker room is so happy for him, and he's our guy.
Is that the Vikings head coach?
No,
or
not
is
the
it Sean
Vikings.
McVay?
No, not Sean McVay. No.
I have no idea.
That is Josh Allen talking about the guy who's probably going to ruin his life in about a month. That kicker,
The kicker.
Tyler Bass,
Tyler
misses
Bass.
2 extra
A
points.
lot of respect for him, he says.
Let me tell you what Josh Allen was really saying with that comment. He's lucky he made the kick. He keeps his job for another week. But it came out as if, I love him. He's the best. He's been through so much. Missing kicks, making kicks. Oh, wow. The trials and tribulations. Oh. That dude is going to ruin Sean McDermott's life, Josh Allen's life, and the city of Buffalo. Scott Norwood is Scott Norwood still with us?
Yeah. He's
Scott-
hiding somewhere, though.
With a martini in hand, knowing how this movie ends. Sorry, Buffalo. It's coming, man. A missed field goal wide right is coming. You know it. I know it.
You're brutal.
I've seen this movie.
Kickers.
Seen this
Jeez.
movie. Well,
Your mom's probably listening via the app, and she's all upset right
laces
now.
out, Dan.
with me on this. With me on this. Stupid kicker saved his life last week. 61-yarder. Who's next, Kurt? You got more sound from the weekend.
I'm a soccer fan. I love that we're bringing teams here to Jacksonville. I think soccer is a great sport, but we don't want to turn football into soccer. Okay? There is a difference. And I don't think that we should just be tapped, oh my gosh, I'm going to go fall down. No. That works in another sport, and it's the biggest sport in the world. But we're celebrating college football right now. And college football is different
Tim
game
Tebow.
than soccer. Both are amazing.
You're trying to
Let's
throw me
keep football
curveballs
as
here, man.
football,
I
and let's
gotta-
not do that.
You don't want to see him run out.
Something that
His-
Tebow had a problem with. Is
His
those curveballs.
voice resonates with me, but
Yeah.
it's in back of my head. Tim Tebow's going to be on our show today.
Yeah.
You know,
Tebow.
So Tim Tebow.
Good work. That it was Tim Tebow. Now he's talking about the defensive player that all of a sudden flops down just to get a special timeout because the hurry-up offense is too much for his liking. I am totally with Tim Tebow on this. Listen, love soccer. My boys in green over the
Nobody
Harvard
needs to be
Athletic.
flopping.
They're tougher
Sucks in
than any other
basketball too,
soccer
right?
team, but I'm sick of the flopping in hoops. I'm sick of the flopping in soccer, and no way does it deserve a place in the world of football.
No, absolutely not. In fact, there's many times when time is running down and these guys need a break, and guys will go down on the football field like they have an injury and then pop right back up, sit out for a play, come back in. I'm like, oh, that's such crap. But there is a rundown penalty for that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like under 2 minutes left in the
Correct.
game that
Correct.
you can't do that.
Unless it's like a significant injury,
Right.
you actually have to do. But even if you do have the significant injury,
Isn't it still a 10-second
runoff.
rundown?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think still a 10-second runoff. So
Which I think is good. It's fair. You shouldn't be able to fake injuries or whatever if you're out of timeouts or something. I'm glad that somebody actually looked into that.
But that's the NFL. I don't know if this is a thing in college. I mean, I know it's a thing for flopping in college, but I don't know if it's a thing as far as the 10-second runoff like they have in the National Football League. Do we got any more sound in there? I think there might be one more sound.
At halftime, all those halftime adjustments, it really paid off right there. That I don't know about you. I don't think I ever made a halftime adjustment in my entire 18-year career. I think it's the biggest myth in football, the halftime adjustments,
Peyton
right?
Manning.
You go in,
Yeah, but
you use the
Peyton's
restroom, you eat a couple of oranges, and then the head coach says, all right, let's go.
It's Peyton Manning on the Manning cast last night. Halftime adjustments. He's probably right in his career because a lot of the coaches, probably even Tony Dungy's like, this dude, what am I going to tell this guy?
Right.
I mean, it's Peyton Manning, for Christ's sake.
He's as smart as anybody in this room, maybe smarter. So why are we going to talk to him?
But he's also right in a grander sense of things that, like, there is really no time. Like, Eli even backs that up and say, well, we got like 3 minutes. We get a drink, we go to the bathroom, we get back out there. You really don't have much time in a
But
halftime.
I do think, like, in Belichick or some of the coaches' minds, they discuss, okay, we've got to change something up.
Yeah.
And they go in and they'll draw up something, whatever. Maybe it's even mentally come back out and do something different in the second half. Maybe they don't vocalize it to the team, but they certainly, the way they call plays in the second half, they've changed something.
The questions I'd always get at halftime from an offensive coordinator or the quarterback is, what are you seeing? What are you seeing?
Right.
Linemen get that question a lot. What are you seeing? Are you seeing a cross? Are you seeing something like, where are they lining up? Where are they shading, especially for this play or that play? And then they'll go into a little room, they'll huddle up, coaching staff and maybe even the quarterback, and they'll come out and address what you were seeing. Okay, if you see that again this second half, you're going to do this. Period. That's it.
Right.
That one little adjustment. It's not a grand scheme adjustment.
And
We're totally changing everything.
If you were getting burned on something, obviously they're going to change maybe who's covering who or what. I mean, but Belichick was amazing in second halves of turning games around, better than anybody I've ever seen. So I think some of these coaches, they're like, okay, yep, we had the wrong game plan in the first half. We got to change something in the second half.
And a lot of the times, sometimes the OC or the DC, they're the eye in the sky, and they're sitting in the press box, and they see you getting your butt kicked.
Right.
Like, they see that. So, hey, what are you seeing? And you're going to lie to me. And you're going to say, man, I'm getting double teamed. But we really know you're just getting your butt kicked.
Right.
So we take that information and we do something different as a scheme without even telling you. Because if we tell you, hey, man, you're just getting your butt kicked out there. And sometimes you do get that.
Oh, yeah.
But usually you get that before you go to the locker
But
room.
also, what if there's a rookie cornerback or there's somebody that they keep picking on?
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, obviously we got to change that guy. We got to change personnel, something like that.
Or there could be a tackle that say, I'm owning this dude. Run behind me.
Right.
I'm owning this dude. And that little sliver of information is all I need.
It's critical because maybe
All I
somebody
need.
missed that.
Right. Left side, right side. We're killing it on the left side. We're getting our butts kicked on the right side. That little piece of information can change a lot of what we're doing out there in the football field. But totally agree with Peyton. And I do think that is asked a little too much of coaches. Or like the thought of, oh, man, you totally played better in the second half. What did you say to the team? I told them they're all going to get their butts kicked out of school if they don't win. Like, no, you didn't. But that's what we want as fans to hear, but it never happens. Orange slices are awesome at halftime.
They absolutely are.
Yeah.
And they've been awesome since I was in midget football. I miss them.
Well, the thing about the orange slice, obviously the vitamin C, you need that, and it'll keep you from
I think
cramping.
it was just so tart and sour. It really upset me.
I love the stickiness. Give me the sticky. I want the sticky on my hands.
So you had Spider Tack back in the day in the form of something natural. So it's kind of, can't call it cheating.
It's like your Gatorade and rosin. Mine was orange slices and Kinesia tape. Just rub Kinesia tape on. Gotta get that stick.
But now you got cool gloves.
Dude, some of these gloves, man, I want to see.
I'm jealous.
Like Garrett Wilson, how he makes that MJ Air Jordan catch one-handed. You got to have some tacky stick inside those palms. And they just keep getting better and better every single year. Your kiddos, the Pop Warner kids
Pop Warner kids have the best gloves. How do you not catch some of these balls with the gloves? That you go to Dick's right now and get some of the greatest sticky football wide receiver catching gloves, but D linemen, O linemen. I mean, they have the nicest stuff too. I look at I just watching UConn games. Just the flak jackets that are now built into the shoulder pads instead of you having to put this giant thing on to protect your spine and things like that. Although watching this Georgia State team. It looked like they were wearing shorts.
Oh, yeah.
They had no pads on their knees. The guys just refuse to wear knee pads now.
Well, Crispino talked to Jim Moore about this, like, off the record before the game, and he's even floored about it now. Like, I can't believe where we're at, where you won't even wear thigh pads, knee pads, and they won't. They won't. They will refuse. I remember we were cutting ours, like, trimming them down a little bit, and that
a little bit, but
I felt bad about that.
No, those Georgia State guys, that was ridiculous. They were up on their quads, and there was like a good 6 inches of you could see skin, and I was like, And then, sitting next to my buddy Joe, who's a football guy, and he's like, yeah, they're not even wearing, they don't believe in knee pads anymore. I'm like, is it saving them? Is it not saving them? Do you think there's injuries? I mean, the turf seems kind of hard.
True, but you're not seeing, like, there are kneecap
bruises, but not anywhere where we think they're bad.
Kneecap ruptures is what I was thinking of. And you don't see that much in football. You see the twist stuff. You see the ACL, the MCL, the PCL, the twisting of the knee and a bad cut or someone laying on top of it. Your knee pad's not going to save you one way or another on that. But
the one that was attached inside the pant leg, that was worthless.
Well, I don't want to say it's worthless because, man, it saved my bacon a bunch of times.
That's what I'm saying, until you actually needed it. But some of these guys, I mean, unless it's like a helmet to the knee or a helmet to the thigh or shoulder pad, you're probably okay.
Even the thigh, man, like my thigh pad, it's only covering the front. Your Charlie horses don't come directly from the front in football. It's the side. It's getting kneed in the side somehow. Now, the cool, like, they're called girdles. They're different than what you think of when you think of a girdle. A football girdle has totally evolved and improved over the years. It used to just be the little canvas strap that we weave our tailbone pad and our hip pads all together.
Do they use tailbone pads anymore?
Yes, because the girdle now, instead of roping everything through and weaving it through your actual belt loop of your pants, now it's just sliding shorts, like you're sliding shorts in baseball.
Right.
Back in my evolution of football, our girdles had pockets for your pads to go in, and those were just shorts. They were easy to put on. Now, to hell with all that, we're just going to build the pads inside the girdles. So these kids, man, I'm talking Pop Warner, I'm talking like 8-year-olds, have these shorts that have very slim padding that's in there. It's padded, but it's not the big bulky pads that you and I grew up with.
God, no.
They're smaller.
I had the rubbery, plasticky hip pads and the kidney pads, all the other stuff.
They're not made in that kind of rubber anymore, that kind of foam. It's a total new technology, man. Like, it's like Teflon. It's like stuff military.
Or Kevlar.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
I mean, baseball players now, even 16U, that they'll wear an undershirt that actually protects like their chest cavity.
Yep.
I actually like that. I think especially the lower level, any kind of extra protection, little leaguers or whatever, the football players, anything, especially the neck guards for hockey players, even football players. I would recommend that at the younger levels and stuff like that, just because it might save your kid, and I'm all for that.
My last year coaching high school football in North Carolina, I think it's 2007, so this is a long time ago.
Right.
They had the Under Armour shirts, long sleeves, that had a built-in back pad for football players. And I thought, man, that's brilliant. That is such brilliant stuff that finally Under Armour or whoever, the apparel companies, are actually weaving this padding into the apparel. I thought it was great, and these kids don't know how lucky they are. They
no, God, no. They whip that stuff off, make mom and dad carry it.
You were showing Ashmead old football helmets yesterday. Just like, imagine going out there with this piece of plastic on your melon and one bar in front of your face for a face mask.
And even back, the 50s, when you were in college, I was showing John Ashmead the college photos of some of these guys, Y.A. Tittle, and some of these other, they had no face guard. So you just had this stupid piece of plastic on your head or leather. Like, that's going to help your skull if somebody smokes you? No. Come on.
And we've kind of went reverse. Like, we started with no pads, and we padded up,
but now there's a giant pad on top of the helmet.
The Guardian cap. I'm still interested in this Guardian cap thing because we saw a couple last night. Tampa Bay had,
I think one of the
offensive linemen had one. I'm just waiting for one of the position players to put it on. I think I've seen one running back.
Wasn't it Tasker was one of the
Steve
first.
Tasker.
Steve Tasker had one from the Bills.
Well, he had a double dome. Now his was still made out of plastic, but it was an extra plastic.
Right.
I think
You
he
think that
had.
helped him?
Well, I think he had multiple concussions before he made it to the Buffalo Bills, but I always wondered if it was heavier. If it and that's what I wonder
He
with
was
the
a little
Guardian
dude,
cap
right?
too. Like, is it so heavy and bulky it's gonna?
Didn't he run down Leon Lett?
You're thinking of Don Beebe.
Don Beebe.
I get Don Beebe and Steve Tasker mixed up all the time, so don't be ashamed about that.
I'm not.
Don Beebe.
That was one of the greatest rundowns ever, even though it was on a Cowboy.
Don Beebe still gets letters about that.
Because he never quit.
Never quit.
Never quit.
Never give up.
Or DK Metcalf, that turning around, catching that dude, still one of the greatest plays I've ever watched. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. The wonderful Fred Lynn, one of the best baseball players. He should be in the MLB Hall of Fame. Fred Lynn played football at USC, played baseball, then he played a wonderful career in Major League Baseball. But he won a Gold Glove, rookie center fielder for the Boston Red Sox back in 1975, and now Wilyer Abreu has done it in right field. He is the first rookie since Fred Lynn to win a Gold Glove for the Boston Red Sox. We'll talk to Freddie Lynn next on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive.